I've got a question for you rock and roll stars. Do you remember when you were famous? I mean really famous. David Bowie. Do you remember when you were really famous? Big rock star. Sad, isn't it? Why did you let the world destroy your music, man? Your videos? Here's a good question for all the rock stars of the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s. Isn't it true that you actually recorded most of your songs on videos and they were played on television? And isn't it also true that you have just let the world destroy the television? Even though you had £1 million in your pocket. This is what I don't understand about you fuckers, man. You know, these millionaire rock stars, you know, Paul McCartney, whatever. Ringo Starr, he was in the Beatles, wasn't he? And there's the Who and the Rolling Stones. You know, you hardly ever get played on the radio, really, do you? Really, honestly. And why did you let the world destroy the television and the video? How many films did you make over the last 50 years? Good question. Mick Jagger. Here's one for Mick Jagger. 50th anniversary of the Stones, right? 50 years. Calculate how many songs the Rolling Stones have actually recorded over 50 years. Right? How many songs have the Rolling Stones really recorded over 50 years? 1,000 maybe, 2,000 possibly. Now imagine how many songs get played on the radio. All those words, man. What I'm saying is all those words you recorded over 50 odd years, Jagger. Isn't this true, Mick Jagger? Over 50 years, how many songs did you record? How many songs, how many videos did you make? And you were multi-millionaire several times over. And yet you let the world destroy your video. And you let the world destroy the video. And you let the world destroy the television. Are you going to waste 50 years of your life, Jack? You're going to throw away 50 years of your life. All the videos you made. All them songs you recorded. You're going to throw it all away. For what? Five more minutes of fame. Mind you, if you go down the post office, they think you're fucking someone else. Probably. Why has the world destroyed the television? Why did you destroy the analog television? Why did you destroy the VHS video? That is always a very good question. Video suddenly came out in the 1980s. We only had video cameras for 20 years. This is a webcam movie, you know. But we only had video cameras for about 20 years. We only had analog television for 20 years. Then you turn off the signal and you destroy it. And you make everything digital so that you can't watch an analog television. Where you can watch your videos on analog television, but you can't get the computer signal on the analog television. And you turned it all off, destroyed it. 50 years of history. I did not invent the television. Actually, it was Logie Baird that invented the television. I don't know nothing about mechanics. I am not an engineer. I know nothing about mechanics. I am an artist. But what a wonderful invention of television was. You destroyed it and replaced it with these basically computer screens that you have at home, isn't it? The televisions you have today are like computer screens, piece of shit. I'm Bill, by the way. But what are you going to do now with your history? Have you got any history left? Is any history left? Do you remember Kenny Everett? All done in the best possible taste. How many people remember Frank? Tell him. Carson. How many people remember Frank Carson? And that's the way I tell him. How many people remember Morecambe and Wise or the Dick Emery show? You remember Dick Emery? You are awful, but I love it. How many people remember Dave Allen or Bill Hicks? I mean, as for the living, you know, how many people remember Julian Clary or The Young Ones? How many people remember the Comic Strip Presents? You know? How many people remember Blackadder? How many people remember Doctor Who, John Pertwee, William Hartnell, stuff like that? It's very sad that the world has thrown away history. Don't you think it's a little bit sad that the whole world has thrown away its entire history? For what? A computerized world. Have you ever seen The Matrix? You ever heard of the Borg? I want a real world, but I like this world too. You know, this is alright. You know. It's better camera than the laptop, anyway. All I'm saying is that you have a very short lifespan. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years if you're lucky. If you're very, very lucky, a human being will survive to be 90 years old. If they're very, very, very lucky. I'm saying, do you want to throw away your history? Did you know? Sorry, I'm Lon Chaney, actually. Have you ever heard of a man called Lon Chaney? Have you ever heard of the Phantom of the Opera? Have you? I was going to go to bed, but I thought I'd make a movie instead. Did you know we've only had cameras for about 100 years now? In fact, the first real sort of like film cameras, and it's actually the centenary of Hollywood, actually. Probably 2013, something like that. It's 100 years since the birth of Hollywood, basically, you know. Well, it was Keystone originally, actually. Do you know it's probably about 100 years since Keystone began? You ever heard of the Keystone Cops? You ever heard of Charlie Chaplin? Do you remember Charlie Chaplin? Do you remember the Keystone Cops? Do you remember Harold Lloyd? Laurel and Hardy? Do you remember the original science fiction movies? Like, what was it called? Metropolis. You ever seen that's a good robot film. If you like robot films, that's a good one. Metropolis. The original, that's a good robot film. I mean, you used to burn books and now you burn videos, you know. Have you heard of Boris Karloff? Have you ever heard of Lon Chaney? I'm wasting my breath on you, aren't I? Never mind. You know, it's just like you've thrown away an entire history and I think you're stupid. To be honest with you, I don't like you very much, really. I'm Bill. What am I going to call this film anyway? I don't know why I'm talking, but it's just nothing else to do. It just makes a pretty picture. what have you got planned for the rest of your life? I had big plans for life, but Russell died last year, you see. When he was in the films, you know, one of my best mates died last year, even my sister died last year. It doesn't take a great stretch of thought to work it out, But do you really want to throw away your entire history? For what? So you can watch stars in their eyes, or Britain's Got No Talent, or whatever you call your game shows, I don't know. But let's face it, you're a bit stupid. All I'm saying is don't throw away history. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have your history, you ain't got much to watch, have you? You know, how many good films get made every year? Maybe 2 or 3 from your computer, maybe. I enjoyed the Dread movie, that was a very good film. Dread was good. It didn't stamp on the toes of the other film. Like the original Judge Dredd movie, there wasn't a remake, and that's what I like about Dredd, actually. You know the movie Dredd? I like that movie because it's not a remake at all. It's a completely original story, which I like it. But I mean, I like Judge Dredd 2, the original film. Judge Dredd, the original film, I like that too. But the point is like, they're completely different films, you know, but the same character, which is excellent. I thought it was done really well. So, but it was a very good film. I like the Sylvester Stallone one, but I think I prefer Dredd, to be honest. I think Dredd is a better film than Judge Dredd. But they're different films. It's not a remake. It's a completely different story, like comic books. Anyway, I've got nothing much to say really tonight. I just thought I'd do that. By the way, if you want fresh drinking water for Africa or whatever, all you've got to do is boil it. Serious to God, if you boil your water, it'll be perfectly drinkable. You don't need money to fucking give fresh drinking water to Africa. You don't need money for that. All you need to do is boil the water. You put it through a muslin cloth, a bit of muslin cloth, to get the grits or whatever's dirty out of the water, and then you boil the water. It's very simple. You could have done that for nothing.